welcome to a new Marnie and Michael Monday.
Yes.
We aren't going to do these on a regular basis, but every once in a while when there's a topic that is near and dear to both of our hearts, we will jump on together to talk to you. And everything dog-related is, of course, very important to both of us. And you all had a lot of questions about the newest member of our family. So we thought we'd do a little video about...
And he might be an active participant in the video today.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's roaming around and the Westies are in their cage eating, so he becomes an only child and he's not used to that.
Yeah, there might be some bloopers in this one.
Yeah.
But it's a two-part video. One is I posted a video on Instagram asking you for your questions about dogs, and we'll get to that. But the first part is just some products and things that Michael and I have found with Rowdy that have become invaluable when dealing with a very active Weimaraner puppy. So, Michael, do you want to get up? And there he goes.
There he is, right there.
Do you want?
We should probably preface it that we're not experts in dog training.
No.
We're not like Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer.
No.
We're just dog lovers.
Yes.
We love dogs,
yes,
as y'all know.
Yes.
We've both owned dogs for most of our lives as kids, and then obviously even before we got married, we owned a dog together.
Well, we didn't bring him home till we were married.
Until we were married, yeah.
Yes. So let's get through the products, so then we can get to the fun part, which are the questions. So, Michael, you're in charge of accident patrol since since his nose doesn't work like the rest of ours. So you want to?
It started with the kids' diapers, and it continues with the dogs.
Right. So you want to share that product? That's,
I don't know how we picked this up. I guess we were Googling it or whatever. We were looking for something because Marnie is super sensitive to smell and odor. I mean, you just wouldn't believe how hypersensitive I guess you are to that stuff, which is good. It offsets me. And we came across a product that was getting rave reviews online, and it's called Kid and Pet.
Yep. Kid or Kids, something like that.
I think it's called Kid or Kids and Pet.
Spray.
It's both a spray and a powder. And I guess I just happened upon it when I was walking through the cleaning supply aisle at Walmart, of all places. And it's, remarkably cheaper than every other.
Well, Amazon too.
Yeah, Amazon too. But in any case, whether you get it at Amazon or you get it at Walmart or other locations, it's usually priced significantly, and I mean significantly lower than the other pet cleaning products that we've seen at Home Depot or the pet stores like PetSmart.
And it's an enzyme cleaner.
And it works better, right?
Yes.
For sure.
It's great.
Definitely works better. It's easy to use. You just spray it. You kind of forget about it. You don't have to do a whole lot of blotting and scrubbing and
we won't get into
all that kind of stuff.
Disgusting.
And believe me, we've had significant accidents, not with Rowdy necessarily at all, but with
couple.
dogs that have gotten older or gotten sick and coming out of both ends badly.
Okay. Oh, okay. Anyway, and also the powder he referenced is it's a carpet freshener. We love that. Next thing, it's indispensable. We are big believers in crate training. So we do crate training, and I'm not going to get into the philosophical differences of whether or not you agree with that. We do.
Oh,
and
is there some people that don't believe in crate training?
It's good. It's a good thing you don't read my comments.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I don't know. Our breeders have always told us to crate train.
I know.
I'm just saying what the breeders always
and the
tell
trainers,
us.
I know, and the vets, and the Humane Society, and anyway, and the AKC. But anyway, tangent.
Yeah.
The pads that you put in the crate for their comfort are key. It's good to have two because accidents happen, not just bodily accidents, but they spill their food, they spill their water, they slobber, what have you. Are you picking him up? He's not a lap dog. Oh my God.
Okay. Go ahead.
The one that we have found that holds up to this beast is the Kong crate pads. They're indestructible, and they are
Kong,
not furry.
The company that makes those indestructible dog toys,
Yes.
they also make that crate
pad. They wipe down
that is
easily.
Equally indestructible, yeah.
And it's good to have two so that when one's getting washed, because you can throw them in the washing machine, I can attest to that, you have one that you can put back in there. A couple other things. Since you're holding him, do you want me to do this?
Sure,
And then you can handle the questions? Okay.
I can try to handle
A lot of you recommended this. Not this particular one necessarily, but a slow feeder bowl.
Especially for big dogs.
So that they don't gulp their food down.
Okay, you ready to
they
go down,
don't
big
get
guy?
sick, and they don't have digestive issues. See the insert.
How about a knuckle bone, Rowdy? Oh,
No, he
yes.
wants. Oh,
Here you
no!
go.
Okay, well, the prop we were about to
wants
show
that.
you, he wanted. We'll get to that in a
Yeah,
minute.
he found his favorite little...
This helps them. They can't just shove their face in and wolf it down. They have to eat around the inserts that are in here.
Yeah, especially dogs that are prone to bloat. So to the extent that you guys are all dog owners out there, particular breeds are more susceptible to bloating. Weimaraners are probably
Weimaraners are one of
at
them.
the top of the list right there. So
The next thing we want to tell you that Rowdy adores, and he just stole off the table in front of us, is a water buffalo horn.
yeah, that was trial and error, right?
Yeah.
Because originally we were thinking that the bull sticks, believe it or not, you can Google what that is. It's a little graphic for your channel since this is a family channel. But
They know what it is. We've talked about it.
you know, I picked up Rowdy. I don't think we mentioned this. I flew to Seattle. We live in South Texas. I flew to Seattle. And then I didn't stop in Seattle to get him. I went through the hinterlands of upstate Washington. I was basically in Canada, almost. I was in a town called Ephrata, Washington, which means I flew into Seattle Airport and drove about 3 hours.
First you drove an hour and a half to Austin.
Oh, yeah. Well,
to
that's
get
not
to
a big deal for
to get
us.
a direct flight
An hour to Austin.
to Seattle,
And then I drove about
which was
3
like
hours,
5 hours
over the Cascade Mountains. I mean, literally, it was a beautiful drive. But I mean, we went far and wide to pick this dog up. Marnie identified maybe the best breeder, I guess, in the country for sure.
Yeah,
One of
and
the
we
best
will
in the
get to
world.
like how we found that in the questions.
So, we've been rescue dog owners too. I don't want to be
That's
coming
true.
across like we don't do rescue. We do rescue. We have
2.
this particular instance. We just decided to find a great breeder, and we have a beautiful dog. But boy, did I travel far! And anyway, Marnie and the breeder and others were kind of recommending that when I was flying back home with Rowdy, that maybe he would settle down by getting a bully stick. That he would really love the bully sticks.
Did.
He did, but it didn't digest very well for him.
Okay, we're not going to
So-
keep talking about poop on this channel.
No, but we learned pretty quickly that, at least at this stage of Rowdy's life, the bully sticks,
Maybe not so much.
not so much. So what we like to do in terms of giving him something that's a treat to snack on is something that's
to
like a
chew.
derivative of his own food. So we found good food
yes.
that works well for his digestive system.
Yes,
and then we've kind of created, Marnie can kind of describe his favorite toy, and it's really just a derivation of his food, which is really good.
That's right. So back to Kong, which was also a question. The Kong toy, all the Kong toys seem to hold up well to Weimaraners on all their life stages because Bosley, we've only bought a couple new toys for him. Mostly they're Bosley's old toys.
That's true.
So what happens when you're a fourth, fifth child?
That's right.
Anyway,
even the water buffalo horns are all
the water buffalo
Bosley's
horns are all
old
Bosley's
toys.
old toys.
That's true.
So they really do hold up to the chewing. But the Kong, I would show you one, but he's taken them all away from us.
He's absconded
They're
with
hollow.
every Kong.
And I take his actual dog kibble, the dry food,
Which
and
we know is very good for his system.
Yes,
He
we're
does
not
well
going to
with
keep
it.
talking about the poop.
I'm
Like,
telling
you're
you.
obsessed with the poop.
Hey, I'm telling you, as a dog owner,
No,
as y'all know out
nobody
there,
wants to hear about it.
you want to make sure they're
No,
digesting
yes,
everything
okay,
perfectly.
Okay, please don't. Please.
Okay.
No.
It's too
seriously.
graphic.
No more.
It's like kids, you're watching
know.
watching their diaper move.
I know, it's sad. It's just what our life has become. Anyway, you take the regular dry dog food, you soak it in water till it's smushy, and then I smush it even more with a fork, and I shove it in the hole of the Kong toy, and I stuff it,
Yep.
and then I wrap it in plastic or put it in a plastic bag and put it in the freezer till it's frozen solid. And then when I need him to be occupied, like if I'm cooking and I can't keep 100% eye on him, or I'm trying to film a video, I give it to him, and he just goes to town. And because it's frozen,
he works it.
He's really got to work at it, and because it's filled with his regular food, I know it's not going to upset his stomach.
Yeah,
So that's that.
been a great deal because that last few weeks we've kind of learned that trick,
Okay.
and it's worked out well for us.
So I'm just going to go through the questions here, and you and I can tag team on this
Okay,
one.
more questions.
More
yeah.
questions.
All right.
So this is from Christy Curl.
Okay.
I'm just going to use your username here.
Okay, Christy.
I know Christy in real life, but
Okay.
she has a burning question. Were the dogs all born with short tails, or do they dock them when they're puppies?
Oh, I can
She
answer
thinks
that.
it's funny that the Westies and the Wymies both have short tails.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'll take care of the Westies and you handle the Wymies.
Okay, well, the Wymies-
Westies are born that way.
Yeah.
Their tails are short, and fun fact, the Westie tail is actually designed so when they go to ground and they're like chasing a rat or whatever's underground, and their little rear end is sticking out, you can grab them by the tail and yank them out.
Yeah, unlike most dogs, that's not dangerous for Westies.
I
You
mean, we
can do
don't,
that.
but you can.
I
Okay.
think Jake does that a little bit when he pulls them out from underneath
Under
the
the
beds
bed.
and stuff or the couches.
The base of the tail. Okay,
Yeah.
now onto the Wyme.
The Wymes, that docking, that's kind of a controversial subject internationally, but in Europe,
They don't.
in particular at the breeder's location where I picked up Rowdy, they have a European Weimaraner from Belgium, and it's a long-tailed, kind of like a lab tail.
That's strange.
However, in America, it's breed standard to dock their tails
When
shortly
they're
after
very
they're
young,
born. Yeah,
a day or two old.
Most of the litters in America are dock tails, and in Europe,
They're not.
they don't touch them. I guess it's similar to what they do with, is it Doberman Pinscher ears?
With the ears.
Where
the
in
cropping.
America, everything's kind of cropped up on the pinchers, and then in other places around the world,
They don't.
they have floppy ears.
Which are so
I kind of like
cute.
the
I like
floppy
the
ears
floppy
because they
ears.
look like Weimaraners
They
or
do.
German Shorthairs. But
All right.
anyway,
Yeah.
That's the answer to Christy's question, I guess.
All right, this is from Maronite Lady LG. Have you always had a dog in your life growing up? If so, what types of dogs did you have?
Okay.
You could take this
Well,
one first.
I actually grew up with a Westie, so I was probably, 4 or 5 years old, I guess, when we got our first Westie.
Which you
And
named.
that dog lasted, he had a great life until he was about 15, almost 16 years old. So all the way through, I was, in my late teens in college. I know he passed away when I was like a freshman
Oh, like
or
Jake.
sophomore in college. But
With
then my
Bob.
mom, even as I was out of the house
Got
and in
more.
school, got another Westie. So I've always had
And then
Westies
she got
growing
another
up.
Westie.
Even got another Westie
And that's
ultimately
Mimi.
prior to her passing away, and then we adopted
her.
Mimi, generally speaking, I guess.
Just
after
when
my mom passed away.
When you got your first Westie, your family let you name it.
Oh God!
What
yeah.
did you name the
I mean, I
Westie?
was a kid. I must have been 4 or 5 years old.
What'd you name the
so
Westie, Michael?
I named the Westie Westie. We spelled it Westy. Westie. So it was Westie the Westie.
Yeah. And as far as me, yes, I grew up with a Cocker Spaniel.
Let me go step away for a second.
Okay.
I'll get him. You keep talking.
I'll keep He's eating a pillow. I grew up with a Cocker Spaniel who the name isn't much better. I was about 4 or 5 years old also, I think, when I got, no, maybe 3. Probably 3 years old when we got Buffy, who was a buff-colored Cocker Spaniel. So yeah, name wasn't much better. And she passed away when I was a sophomore or maybe a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And my parents didn't get any more dogs after that.
Rowdy.
Which I think
Easy.
is crazy. Okay. What chew toys
you want
does
your
Rowdy love? Oh, this is from Liv Monty 819. What chew toys does Rowdy love to
Liv?
play with?
Okay.
I think we pretty much touched on that. He likes the Kongs.
Mm-hmm. He does like the Kong. He likes the water buffalo horns.
And knuckle bones.
And he likes to play tug-of-war with Mimi. I mean, they go incessantly. I'm sure you probably captured some of this on videos, but
He's eating
they
his
go
food bowl.
hard at each other. They're like in a football practice doing tug-of-war.
S.Born has, she has a small puppy. Never
Okay.
had one before. What's
Okay.
the best way to potty train? It's 3 months old. We put pads down, but she goes on them sometimes only. Thank you. Well, okay, I'm going to take this one if you
You want me
don't mind.
to? Go ahead. Yeah,
Well,
I'll let you do your thing.
I don't know what your access is to the outdoors, but I am not a fan of pads
Me
because then they don't know the difference between peeing on your floor anywhere in the house. Like they
Yeah.
just think it's okay to pee in the house. So
Or you know what they do? They think that other things that look like a pad
carpet.
are a pad, like little rugs that you have in front of your sinks and things.
yes,
And then you find that those little throw rugs
become pads.
become potty pads.
So no, if you have access to the outdoors, if you have a city dog and you're in an apartment or you're working all day, that's a different topic. But
yeah, maybe that's
if you
true.
can get them outside, the key is crate training.
Yes, that's where crate training to me.
Every time they wake
It's
up
optimal,
from
yeah.
it's just like a baby, a human. Every time they wake up from sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
you take them outside right away. After they've eaten, within 20 minutes,
Yep.
you take them outside right away. And then if they've been playing heavily, really active playing,
Oh yeah.
stop what they're
Interrupt
doing,
it, yeah.
take them outside.
We still
Just
do that with
Be
Rowdy.
vigilant. Every hour, hour and a half
Yep.
at this age,
If
you
they're
got to
out
get
of
them
the
out.
crate playing, you got to get them out.
And reward them when they do go OUT.
Mm-hmm.
I have to spell so he's right there. But whether you reward that with a word that they associate with something positive, our
Yep.
word is bingo.
Yep, we say
Because you
that.
don't want to use a word that they
Yeah.
hear frequently because they'll associate it with going OUT. And if you yell like okay,
Yeah.
they'll just pop a squat wherever they are.
Right, we do
Or you
bingo.
can give them a little treat
We do that sometimes.
sometime,
nugget,
but
nugget of food.
we
The
try
treats are
not
nuggets
to
of
do
food.
that because then they associate going out with getting a treat, and then they'll just figure it out very quickly and just keep wanting to go outside just to get the
But
treat.
not do anything. Or they might mark the continue, if they, yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
let's move it.
Okay.
Okay, so Perry E.G., do you guys have any advice for managing young children and babies with dogs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I
we
would
had
not
newborns for all of
recommend-
our dogs, yeah.
Yeah,
We had newborns at all points.
we had
with dogs.
our first Westie before we had Jake.
Yep, a couple of years.
You don't trust them alone. Like very small children, I would never trust them alone
Definitely
for a
not.
very long time. Not because you think the dog is intentionally going to hurt your child, but they get active and they play, and accidents can happen. So you
Sure.
do want to keep them separate or
You
under
just need
supervision.
to really monitor that. Yeah, it can never be unsupervised
And you have to
until
pick,
they're at least 4 or 5 years old, I would say. Huh?
yeah. And you have to pick your breed well. Don't pick a breed that's known not to get along well with children or attaches to only one member of the family.
Yeah.
And dog training is a must, but I think it's also very important to raise your children around animals, specifically dogs.
Yeah, so they know how to be respectful. And we've always told our kids a little bit tongue in cheek, but to a certain level,
Oh, no.
Marnie and I have been kind of serious.
No, don't share this.
And
No.
we used to say to the kids as they got older, hey, if there's any snipping going on or biting going on, we're going to assume that it is the child's,
we're going to get rid of you,
misbehaving
not the dog.
in front of the dogs. Yeah, we've made it very clear with our kids that the hierarchy in our family is the dogs are here, and then the human children, are one step below the dogs. So
we joke a little bit.
But we feel that way a little bit. I think that it's important for the kids to understand that they have to have a healthy respect.
She also asked if we have trained them not to kick up grass after they poop.
No, I don't.
I mean, that's a
You
natural
gotta let 'em,
thing.
yeah.
They're trying to wipe their,
Both Wrigley and Rowdy kick grass after they go number 2.
Yeah.
Mimi doesn't do that too
A little
much.
bit, she does, yeah.
Yeah.
They want to know, okay, Alicia Parker. Hey, Alicia, she's been sending me snaps of her little puppy, her Wyme.
Wyme.
So
Cool.
sweet. And she wants to know if the
Awesome.
biting has gotten any better and how we deal with it. No. They'll grow out of it.
not bad.
The
It's
key
just-
is just to
just teething.
remove yourself when they do it, and always have something else nearby or with you that you'd rather them chew on other than you. So swap out your hand for a chew toy.
I would say the most important thing with respect to that is you should know a little bit the difference between malicious intentional biting, which we have not observed with Rowdy, and I bet you haven't observed it with your puppy either, and what is just they're just going through a transitional teething phase for several months when they have baby teeth.
We're going to answer one more question here, and then I'm going to have a special blog-only video that you can watch only if you hop over to my blog, because this is getting long. So the last
Rad.
question
You wanna jump back on screen?
is important to us, I think, and that is from Ada Solly Styling.
Whoa,
what
a
is it?
name.
And she has a Westie, I
Okay.
believe. What is it like having more than one dog? I want a second, but I may be overwhelmed. What is harder? What is easier versus having one versus two?
Oh my gosh, really?
We
That's a
were
great
just
question.
talking about this
Where are we? Yeah, well,
because we felt bad for
you know,
Rookie.
we started off just having Rookie, and I guess we probably didn't know any better because, like Marnie was describing earlier, both she and I grew up with only having one dog. They didn't really have playmates. But we learned very quickly when we introduced Bosley, our old Weimaraner, into the mix. These dogs do so much better together in groups, 2, 3, 4.
No,
It could get hard. And, obviously you have to be mindful financially of your budget. I keep hearkening. I'm kind of the budget guy in our family, as y'all know.
It's good to have someone
And
who's mindful.
dogs are not inexpensive, so you have to go in with clear eyes, knowing exactly
Even
what the
if
costs
you
are.
rescue them,
Even if you rescue.
the costs
Because don't
are
you feel
not small.
obligated to give them the best kind of food and give them the best kind of vet
care?
services?
Yeah.
And, so you want to make sure that you get what you can afford very comfortably, and you want to have some emergency funds set up. So I would say in an optimal world, you want to have 2 or 3 dogs. They do so well together. They keep themselves occupied. They pal up together. They play together.
They train each other.
Wrigley was the trainer of Rowdy. Marnie was kind of joking about how ringing the doorbell to go OUT.
Did we talk about that?
Well, I think you may have referenced it, that he goes, OUT in response to different words.
We'll talk more about that on the second video. So if you want to
All
know
right.
how we train
That's cool.
Rowdy
Yeah.
and how to do the bell,
Anyway,
go over there.
have you seen any negatives, even when they go to the kennel overnight stays when we're out of town?
Other than how much it costs to kennel 3 dogs?
Yeah, if you can afford to do the multiple dogs, setting that aside, assuming
like
you
having-
can afford it,
yeah.
I would say there's no reason not to. Honestly, they do so well together. They're not more destructive or any less destructive. I would argue that they probably do more harm to the homes and the properties by themselves. Absolutely.
they're bored.
Yeah.
Did he just do what I think
I
he
gotta
did?
go get my boy.
He just took off. Well,
All right.
that's the end of that
That's
video.
the end of that. He is done. He's ready to run off and do other fun
he
things.
just jumped the gate.
So I better go get him.
Oh my gosh. All right, if you want to see more, I'll put the link in the description box below. Hop over to my blog and you can see the rest of the answers to our questions. Rowdy, oh my gosh. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, and hopefully see you back on the blog. Oh, and there he goes.
Hey, he's an
Bye.
agility dog by nature.